Good morning. Got a long day on the road today, which is actually a good thing because it means I may hit overtime this week, which would be amazing. So, today is Tuesday, August 4th, and there is a vote out there in Kansas whether we should, it's a constitutional amendment, whether we should elect our judges or leave them to basically what amounts to a panel or a committee that elects our Supreme Court or that elects our judges in Kansas. And then we vote to retain them or not. So I'm not going to get to vote today because I am on the road. I know, running for office and not even voting. But I don't believe that voting actually matters, and let me explain by talking about the vote that's happening today. So, a couple years ago, we had a constitutional amendment in Kansas to ban abortion, and it failed by a large percentage. I think it was almost 70-30. And Kansas is a very red state, so probably more or less pro-life, but apparently less, because it was very resounding no for the ban on abortion. And at the time, the Republican lawmakers decided that they were going to go about it a different way. And the way that they decided to go about it, basically banning abortion in Kansas, is the goal. And I am pro-life. It's not one of my big issues, but I am pro-life. But whichever way you lean on this, they were very upfront about their goal of getting abortion banned in Kansas. And they decided to go about it this way, where they put on the ballot a constitutional amendment, whether we vote for our judges or not. And then their goal is to play the slow game and get judges, more pro-life judges, into the courts, and then get abortion banned in Kansas through the courts rather than through a popular vote, because that was a very much resounding failure in their eyes. It was a success if you are pro-choice. So that leads us to today's constitutional amendment. And like I said, abortion isn't one of my... I think that with a better economy, people just won't have as many... Pregnancies will be more wanted in a better economy, so I think it all boils down to economics. Like, I don't think outlawing something stops it from happening, because I'm a libertarian and I don't really believe in the rule of law in the first place. And... well, I do, but I don't think that outlawing something makes people stop doing it, if that makes sense. Anyway, I digress. So, the stance and the messaging of both political parties is what I find the most interesting. So, on the more or less Republican/pro-life side, they are... choose democracy is their key phrase that they are saying. Choose democracy, elect our judges. And I find this extremely ironic, because they had a vote and it was a resounding no. So now we're going to choose democracy so that they can over time get a yes? It's so convoluted. And you can tell that what they're banking on is that people are idiots. And I'm not going to say they're wrong, because, I mean, I don't know how the vote's going to go today. And like I said, this isn't really one of my big issues, but like, they're just so disrespectful of the intelligence of your everyday human that lives in Kansas. And, I'm not going to say they're wrong, but God, it hurts. Just the fact that they know that and are trying to take advantage of that fact is just, like, this is a slap in the face from our government. The fact that everybody voted and said no. Well, I voted yes, but basically Kansas said no. And so now they're saying, choose democracy so that in the long run we can get a yes out of you. And they think we're fucking idiots. And I'm not going to say they're wrong, but it's just so disrespectful to the average voter, the way that they are campaigning for this. And now that brings me to the Democrat / pro-choice side. Their whole, I guess, sales pitch on this vote is to vote no, keep our courts impartial, don't let our judges be bought, keep money out of politics. Basically, what they're saying is that they are admitting, saying the quiet part out loud, that elections are bought and sold. They're literally saying it out loud. The Democrat / pro-choice / vote no group. Because what they are saying, and correctly, which is also why I think voting is kind of bullshit, that if we allow our judges to be elected, people are going to donate to get judges elected to these prestigious and probably well-paying positions, and that then the judges are going to vote in favor of things that their donors, or decide, I should say, judges don't vote, they decide, in favor of things that their donors want. So the end goal, as we all know, is that they want to get a bunch of pro-life judges in there to ban abortion in Kansas. And what the Vote No party and the more Democrat side of the political aisle is saying is that if we do this, then yes, our judges will be paid for, basically. They're going to pay for them to win elections, and then the judges are going to do the bidding of the people that got them elected. And I'm like, hold on a second. How is this different from any other politician that we actually still elect? Newsflash, it's not. All our elections are basically bought and paid for to a certain extent. Some of them, maybe the political apparatus isn't paying as much attention to them, or some of them are just so out of reach that, or so one-sided, or that not a whole lot of money will be put in. But what they're basically admitting, saying the quiet part out loud, is that every election at least can be bought. And I think the displacement of Thomas Massie is a prime example of that. Every election can, maybe not will, because there's only so much money and so much time and so much energy that people who buy these elections are willing to put in. But basically they're admitting that every election, and any election, can be bought for a price. Sometimes the price is exorbitant, but it can be done. And yeah, it's just they're on both sides. What this election, or what this constitutional amendment, both the origins of it and the marketing of it by both sides, what it is telling us about our own system of government is no bueno, people. On one side, they think we're idiots and that we can be manipulated into voting yes when we just voted no. And on the other side, they're admitting that all elections are bought and sold, or can be bought and sold. And I agree with both of them, and that's why I don't think elections really mean anything. And I just don't know what to say, but the system is fucked, and bring on the revolution.